empathy for her. Even Lisa Bella has empathy for her. It's us that have the empathy.
That's what I'm saying, but she's not used to that, right? So she's on like this constant guard. And again, I don't even know her very well, but I could tell from like a month of her coming on to my freaking like FYP. I'm like, holy shit, man. And then when I found out she was throwing her phones, I remember being in that energy, and I was so sad, frustrated. Like that's when something clicked in me, and I was like, I'm not wrong. Like this woman is like, she's sad.
And Doses absolutely has a sincere caring for Samantha, and Samantha does Doses, but Samantha's getting manipulated by like Sammy Sourdog and all these people that are so lame and so boring and so full of lies. And Samantha's the type that will believe what you say. You know what I mean? She'll be convinced that you're like that. People don't lie for some reason. Like, I don't know. And then when but she's the type, she has to come to terms. She has to figure it out.
I think we've all been through that to a degree, right? Where like you have to, like Lisa Bella was there, Doses was there when I lost my mind to get everybody the fuck away from me so I could think for myself. And sometimes it's hard when you have so many people chirping in your ear, right? And you have to have the strength, and sometimes you got to be an asshole to get people the fuck away from you so that you can think and center yourself.
Exactly.
And right now I feel like she's in that position where she has like so many people chirping in her fucking ear, but she also put herself in that position. Let's not forget that. Shut the fuck up, Doses, you fucking cunt. I mean, I'm not denying it, but fuck, like that was making me spiral.
Now that live was, I don't know, it was the chef's kiss yesterday. I really thought that, I mean, Samantha had fun for the first time in a few months, I think. Because every other time it was just her spiraling, losing it. No one would come up in her panel, and everybody...
Well, now she's laughing in her panel. Like, with you guys back again, she's laughing. She's making jokes. She's not stressed. Like, you guys were talking about some actual, like, good stuff last night. Like, the conversation went into a good like topic, and I was like, see, like, this is what Samantha's lives can be.
Yep.
But like the last people she had with her, all they ever did was just feed her shit that just stressed her out.
Well, Sarah, did you ever see like when Samantha and I had our Spot-A-Mantha show going on for like a month before her and I broke up over?
Well, yeah, she was never like, it was never that bad. It used to come across my screen. I didn't even know who she was for eons until like all that drama started freaking happening, and it kept coming across my FYP. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And I saw Doses in there. I didn't know who any of you guys were until all that shit. Because, like, where she goes, like, it somehow ends up on my fucking FYP.
Yeah, we're all trapped.
Goddamn time. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, it was fun. Like, she could be a freaking asshole, but she has no filter. But
all
I have to respect that.
Assholes.
Right? Like, fuck, I'm sure the shit that comes out of my mouth sometimes, like, people are like, Sarah, and I'm like, what?
Just so, like, there's a lot of us that have just been pushed to the absolute fucking limit. So sometimes we don't have patience for the like pussyfooting.
Yeah.
And we know what people are gonna say because we've heard it so many fucking times. That
sadly,
like
with you, it all did begin with the wrong person, Bellfire, and then people like a certain guy, a certain Two Spirit and TTS and that girl from TikTok, convincing her, like they honestly, the way they do that to her is so bad, like so evil. I've been a cunt to her, don't get me wrong, we all have, but like what they're doing is evil. They are creating her to lose all the real people that really cared about her.
Well, that's what they do. You just hit the nail on the head.
Drama. She gives them drama, right? So, like, if she's reacting to all the bullshit that they're feeding her, then they've got content. They've got something to, like, be entertained by.
Yeah.
So when she's getting along with everyone, and then they start to make, like, have you noticed that ever since Beaver and Doses and them have started to get along with her again, TTS and them are starting to make more videos in Samantha's lives, like,
Yep.
not showing what Samantha or any of her friends are saying that are problematic.
Yep.
Like the video of Before Sun, I'm the only one that fucking posted that. But then he'll go ham on my fucking lives and post all this shit. She's gonna get pissed off if he starts posting stuff from her lives because, yeah, it's just gonna fall apart. He needs to fucking stop.
Yeah, Tom's right. They need content and they're running out of it because a lot of us just don't feed into it anymore, or we like you're really great, Lisabella, at dismantling the chimp clips or whatever and showing the facts. It's just some of them. Like, truth doesn't matter to these fucking people.
That's why
the lies that I've heard that I know just straight up aren't like they started to get into my head for like a fucking minute there. Like a hot minute, and I'm like, I'm like they can fuck with your head. Trust me.
Oh
like,
yeah, they can. Oh, I know.
When you're vulnerable,
they've gotten to me before.
Yeah,
they don't get to me anymore like they used to. It's more just like it's so much easier now to be like, hey, you fucking moron! Like you left out this whole part. You left out the entire rest of the story. Why didn't you add the rest of that part in there? Like, are you dumb? You look stupid.
Oh yeah, like as soon as like they figure out that I'm not talking to somebody or whatever, like they will come in. Like again, when you're upset or when shit is going on, they get you right when you're fucking vulnerable. Yeah, and I'm just like,
and they exploit
that's what they do, man.
They get you when you're vulnerable, and then they put you in more distress, and then they exploit you for it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And then they get mad and call you fucking batshit crazy when you fucking lose your shit.
They are textbook fucking abusers. Like it
is. Thank you. Like, and it's manipulators too. Like, it's sick to me. Like, it's truly sick. And I always say, like, when it had to do with abuse, like in general, the hardest lesson that I ever had to learn was that people know what they're doing. Reactive abuse, you don't know what you're doing. You just lose your fucking shit. There's no calculating behind it. None of that. No. These people are different. They are calculated. And I actually had to do so much fucking research to actually understand it. Like, I understand it on like a cognitive level, you know? Yeah. And it was the hardest lesson to learn, honest to God.
No, it was great. Like yesterday, just reading the comments and seeing like, it's really calculated. They're very miserable. Like they're so miserable in their life. It's sad and it's pathetic and it infuriates me. And like, even Lisabella, like the way Samantha goes on, but whomever it may be, whoever her target is, right? Lisabella is still willing to see the cool side of Samantha, like, you know what I mean, like, and defend her sometimes. Mm-hmm. And obviously, you're going to be pissed at her for saying shit that's not true.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things she's saying that, but I know that she's being fed a bunch of bullshit from people. And the thing that it pisses me off more that those people are feeding her stuff and they're getting a rise out of, like, they're getting like some kind of entertainment out of it by not only putting her under distress and making her feel like she has to look over her shoulder with all these lies, but also at my expense.
Yeah.
It's at both of our expense, really. And it pisses me off because neither of us fucking asked for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like her brain is so clouded from all the bullshit that like she's not like what happens. I've learned is that like I don't think Samantha's a bad person. First of all, I never truly have. Like I think she's sad. I think she's got a lot of sadness. I think and that sadness is turned into anger. But what happens when your brain is clouded with all this shit is that it's very easy for them to get in there and for it can become somebody that you're not. Like that's just facts.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I think one day just try it. Like just try to pop in as yourself and.
Well, I have her unblocked, but she doesn't have me unblocked. Oh, excuse me.
Oh yeah, she blocked me after that video that I made.
I just want to tell her.
I was pissed, man. Like I was
pissed. What video you're talking about? What video?
Where friggin' actually it was Lisabella who posted that about her talking about Indigenous women, like in a like when I say vulgar fucking manner.
Oh, yeah, when she was talking about how her man married a white woman, a beautiful white woman, because he doesn't marry his own breed or something.
Yeah. See, she we always use our tongue to shovel our own graves sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why a lot of like in my culture, I notice like, especially with the elders and well, anybody who's like, I'm a city person, so it doesn't happen with me. But if you notice, like, for Indigenous people, really, they pause before they answer. Like, there's always a long pause because they will think about their answer. And I'm not that way. Like, I'm I guess colonized. No.
But you were also taken away from your culture, right? Like,
no, I grew up in it. That's the difference. See, all these reconnectors and these.
Oh, you did?
Oh, fuck yeah. From birth, man. From birth. Like, I was in it hardcore. It happened to be in the biggest city of Canada. But yeah, no, I grew up like I was born. I think that's what bothers a lot of the people. Like, I don't want to say reconnector because I don't really understand it because like Atomic has a different like concept of it, but yeah, no, I lived it.
Yeah, but you were also dealing with like people don't understand residential schools were like. I always ask people, what were you doing in 1996? And like, yeah, that was the last one that was closed. And like, I'm not one to make excuses for people ever, but I will always have natives back. Always.
It's crazy because
so
like,
fucking deep.
In 1996, I was 8, and I remember learning about residential schools in high school. But like,
yeah, see, I didn't.
When I was in school, my first couple years of school, those things were still fucking open, and nobody was teaching us about any of it.
I learned about them when I went to college for social work, and I just, by the grace of frickin', I was about to say the grace of God, whatever, it's a saying.
That's what I knew it because
I had.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, I had a professor who was a Native advocate, and he like his name is Richard Finch. I would look him up. He's still there, and yeah, he. Not one person in that class knew what a residential school.
I didn't realize that people didn't know because, like, I lived it. My father lived it. I lived it, so I just assumed that it's like common knowledge. But it's because I lived it, right? So it's sort of like, I didn't realize that it wasn't.
I didn't even know
government
what, like,
has
trafficking
swept
and all
it all
that shit
under
was
the
till
rug.
I was an adult. Like, I didn't learn about any of that kind of stuff until I was an adult. Like, I don't know. Maybe St. Thomas is different, or maybe I was just more sheltered or something. Like, I learned stranger danger.
No,
obviously.
you weren't. It was completely designed that way.
We just weren't. We didn't talk about those things. Like, we learned stranger danger. We had what were the neighborhood watch. So we had, like, you know, people all around who had these stickers on their doors. So if something bad happened, you could run to their door. They were vetted by.
It's funny. I taught my kids never to run to the one with that sticker. I was always like, yeah.
And I was never taught that, right? Like, my parents are very traditional. They were very like, this is the food chain according to so we have to follow the food chain. And, you know, if your doctor says to do this, you do what your doctor says. Like, that's just.
Can I ask you both a question that's gonna?
So they just followed everything that they believed everything.
Do you think that they put? Do you think that they have the res for no reason? Do you think that was just for Native people or to hide them? Come on.
Well, some people say that, like, the reservations can be compared to as, like, basically abandoned concentration camps in a way. But then I don't know if that's extreme or not.
Them completely. It separates them so that they don't have access to society.
Right? Like, people choose to live on the res as well, right? Like, there's a lot of people I know who are status who could go live on a res if they have family who lives on reses and stuff, but they choose to live in town.
Whenever I say, like, I want to, if I want to leave the big city, like, I could easily go there. I could easily have, you know, a place or whatever. But I can't stand it, to be quite honest. Like, I lived in one in Toronto. So we call it that just because it was a complex of buildings. It was called Gabriel Dumont. It was like Native housing. But it's the same concept, right? And it was like so much drama and gossip and quote unquote cousin fucking. I'm just joking. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just too much drama. So I would never go live there. But a lot of people love it. Like, I don't know how to.
And yes, Atomic, you're saying some people have no choice. And I do recognize that as well. Like, obviously, when I say certain things, I hope people understand that, like, I'm not negating all of the other things. It's just like when I'm talking about a specific thing, that's just what I'm talking about in that specific manner. But like, I think, I don't know. I hope it doesn't come across that way. Because even when I talk about like other issues and stuff, like I'll mention certain things. People are like, well, yeah, well, what about this? I'm like, well, yeah, I know about that. Obviously that's happening. It's just I'm not talking about that specific thing right there. But you are right though. Like lots of people don't even have a choice to get off the reses either. So welcome up, Atomic. Sorry for rambling for a second there.
Hi, Atomic.
Hi, Atomic.
Oh, sorry, I'm not. I forgot how to speak. No.
Happens to the best of us.
Hey, I was like, where's the little mic thing to unmute? And then I'm choking. I'm like, hi, how are you guys doing? Jeez. No, it's true. I see where you guys are coming from, but like when it comes to reservations, people don't have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, there's a lot of people that do, and there's a lot of people that don't. I think it just depends on location too, right? Because there's some very isolated reses that are like nowhere near anything else. Like you'd have to really uproot your whole life to get off the res. And you know who put Indigenous people there?
The white man.
Yes, and this is why, like, and it's just all a means to sweep everything under the fucking rug. Like, that is what a lot of people aren't seeing. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to over talk anybody, but like, you've got to understand it was all a part of like hiding the blood on their fucking hands. And they're still doing it though. They're just like, why? Like, anyways, I'm not trying to get into an argument.
No worries. Do you live on a res, Atomic?
No, but I've lived in native housing and stuff like that, and it's been a slice.
What's your experience been with that?
It was good until you get people moving in and out, like as all housing, not just native. When you get people moving in from Toronto or you coming in from Montreal, it was fine for the first 3 years. And then we got bugs. You know, like cockroaches.
Do you think it got overcrowded, or do you think it was that?
And it wasn't overcrowding. It was just because they were moving from cities where that was, right?
Okay.
So,
I see.
you know, when you don't
then when you pack
that,
up all your stuff, you're gonna bring things with you. So
exactly, and it wasn't their fault. They didn't know. Like you get used to living like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to sound ignorant, but it's true.
And okay, it's the truth. Sometimes you have to be willing to offend some people sometimes when you're telling the truth, right? So you're not a bad person for it.
And that was the main thing why I moved out of native housing, was because it was fine. Like where I lived, it was a new building, brand new, but after 3 years, when you start seeing silverfish and cockroaches,
oh dear, yeah. Silverfish, what's that?
And it's just people coming in and out. Like it's nobody's fault. It's just, you know what I mean? It's it's nobody's fault that it's happening. It's just, and if you don't
but it's still segregation, right? Like, that's the fucked up part, is that it's still segregation, and there's still that stigma where like, oh man, people are just like, people need to be more educated, and I think people are, and like Native voices are finally being fucking heard. But Jesus,
yeah. And where I was living, it was called the Head Start compound because we were all single women who like applied for funding, and then all of a sudden they built a house, they built a building, and we were all in there. So our kids grew up together, you know. It was
like a tight-knit community where you kind of all were experiencing similar things.
Yeah, and now we're all gone from that complex because of that. Where our kids were safe, they were playing, everybody was happy, you know, stuff like that. And then after 3 years, it just took 3 years for it to go under.
That's too bad.
Yeah. And that's what I said, like, none of us live there anymore. Like, all the people that we were there for, and my kids and stuff like that. And my kid is now like 17. So we've been out of there for like, 2020, so like 5 years. And everybody I know,
it's been 5 years already. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't believe it either. And that's the thing, like, all the people that we were connected to have moved out of that building because their stuff have been affected and no one's cleaning it up. So if Native Housing doesn't get the funding to like say, hey, let's check for bed bugs, or hey, let's check for silverfish.
But hey, I thought that the government gave you everything and everything was paid for.
Exactly, right? But like, you know, if we had the proper funding for that, it would be taken care of. But
there's almost a $2 trillion fucking trust fund, and this is another thing people don't realize. I know you know this. I'm not trying to like speak your story or anything, but the government has an almost $2 trillion, not million, not billion, $1 trillion trust fund for the indigenous people.
And and reserves don't all still have clean drinking water, so that's a problem.
Right?
That's the thing is, like, I think we need something that's similar to Doge happening in our government, because that's what it is, right? Like, what they're doing is they're going through all the funding. They're figuring out where the funding is being spent that is useless spending. A lot of it is foreign spending on, like, really dumb shit, right? And they want to take that money and put it back into the American people's dollar or pockets. Right? That's what the whole thing of Doge is. They're trying to find the corruption, like that $2 trillion, say if we had that in Canada, somebody would be going through and figuring out, why is this still sitting here? And the money that's been gone, has it gone?
It's not sitting there anymore.
But so then somebody would go in and figure out, did this money go where it was promised to go? And if it didn't, where did it go? And who are we holding responsible for that? That's the whole
but obviously
point of
it
Doge in
didn't.
America.
That's the
People are
thing.
fighting it. But we need that here too. Every single fucking person that has campaigned to be president of the United States has talked about having somebody, like a team built like Doge, to go in and figure out where all the corruption is. And fucking Musk and Trump are the only ones that actually did it. And people are like, no, fuck you. You guys are terrible. And it's like, no, they're just getting the corruption out. So all the people that were part of the corruption are mad. And that'll happen in Canada. I think Pierre has some plan in his books about going through and figuring out where all the corruption was.
It's a very blanketed statement, though. There are a lot of people that are being hurt by this, innocent people, because people's egos are getting in the fucking way.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And like that